Good morning. Sunny morning after the storm. Yesterday, I received another request to donate some work for a worthy cause. Again. And I know that it is a worthy cause, medical cause indeed. At the moment, I just thought this year I've probably given away 2,000 or 3,000 euros worth of work, for charitable auctions, donations, etc. It was pointed out to me that when I do that, I've taken another potential buyer out of my loop. It was pointed out by a gallerist, so they do have the more perhaps business-minded approach to this whole art world lark. Anyway, so I received another request and I politely declined, saying, contact me again perhaps next year if it's a repeat event or whenever it's done again, but I don't feel I can this year. I've already committed to plenty of other charities, etc., etc. And the reply was a bit, I'd say terse. Let's be charitable. It was a bit strange and unexpected. This person who was working this charity was surprised, particularly considering the size of my Facebook audience, that I must have a significant income. They said, you've got a Facebook audience of over 500,000. You must have, surely you can afford to donate something small. I pointed out that was 500,000 people looking at my work freely, without charge, without any threat or compunction to buy anything. So yes, I presume the reply was in the nature that I was being unreasonable, that as an artist with an audience of over 500,000, I should be making a decent income. Well, I don't know. If I should be, then I've been doing it wrong. And the way I'm doing it wrong isn't going to change because I like the way I'm doing it. So that's that, isn't it? But it got me thinking on this whole what you should expect to earn from art, because when you tell people who don't work or live within the rarefied atmosphere of the art world, PLC, when you tell them that galleries by default take 50% of any sales they make of your work, a lot of them are surprised. How much? They think it's an injustice, this is terrible, And you explain what a good gallery does and why it's a deal that has continued in the last few decades successfully. If being a gallerist was an easy way to make money, everybody would be doing it and they wouldn't be closing down, would they? A lot of the same people that raise their eyebrows at being informed of the gallery's 50% are often all too happy to take the benefits of artistic production without forwarding money back to the creator, aren't they? I mean, it's fun, isn't it, being able to draw and paint? I've actually had this said to me, if I could do that, I wouldn't charge anybody because I would just love doing it. This was the justification for asking me to do a piece of work for them for nothing. Complete stranger. So art is appreciated, but are artists valued? I don't think they are they? Where should we take this conversation? I'll tell you what, let's go back to the money. There's a lot of young artists want to know about the money, how they can survive making art. Well, I told you before, I survived making art until my mid-40s by basically having lots of other jobs during the week. So basically evenings and the weekends were mine to spend cutting out and colouring in. Well, I sat down and looked at the numbers, because this request for another donation, I don't know, there was something in the nature of the response that just, I don't know, it sort of bit a little, And I sat down and worked it out, and it's not just in the art world, it's not just art. Perhaps it also coincided with the fact that I'm now 60, and because I'm 60, all the French state's administrative algorithms start kicking in to provide new services. There's a state body which takes your social services contributions. They call themselves the La Maison des Artistes. Sounds really fine, and we want to help you. My experience, they just want to take my money, but there you are. La Maison des Artistes. They sent me an email saying I've got to start looking at my retirement. I'm 60. I've got to start planning for my retirement. And I was looking into it. I'm not sure what pension benefits I'm going to get here now after Brexit. And I certainly can't afford to go back to the UK. And the whole notion of retiring from my work I thought was quite funny, because I was doing this when I wasn't making any money from it. So now I'm making a little bit of money from it. Do you think I'm going to stop? So, dog has found something. What have you found, Pooch? What have you found? I'm going to dig the tree out. Finished? Come on. You mad hairy Pooch. So, in this email that they sent out to me, automatically of course, it said, you are allowed to continue making art when you're retired. That's a relief. But again, even that organisation, that state-funded organisation, presumes that the only reason you make art is to make money. And it really isn't. But on investigating what I pay, what I have paid, what I'm due to receive, I don't know. But I looked at the numbers of my entire working life. When I was starting out, and I say I've had all manner of jobs. I've always worked, mostly at the arse end of the pay scale, except for one brief moment, but never in my entire working life, even up to now, even since being this 500,000 audienced Facebook artist, I have never earned the national average wage. Not in 1 year. When there was the mad frenzy of urban art and I was briefly a thing to be noticed on whatever forum online, there was 1 year when I came close to earning the national average wage, but it didn't happen. It was a vain hope. It was not to be. So, when people think I'm a successful artist, be careful how you define that notion of success, because it doesn't mean you're coining in money. Perhaps even more so now, when there are so many people who are the recipient of large audiences who can look at the work online for free. So you can make a passable living at this. It is pretty insecure. it is feast or famine, and an artist's financial definition of feast is probably, let's say, less than Bacchanalian. But if you can do this and get by doing it, it is enjoyable work. Well, it's not really work, but it's enjoyable. I've done work and this isn't work, which is why I keep doing it. So this isn't a missive, this isn't a call for sympathy. I choose to keep doing it because I enjoy doing it, and when it's sunny, it's fantastic. But like I've said before, I think that should be my favourite phrase, shouldn't it? I ought to retitle this, rather than man walking around with a phone on a stick. It should be the endless repeats. It should be, as I've said before, another episode of As I've Said Before, which begs the question of why you're watching it again. But anyway, as I've said before, I would carry on doing what I'm doing even if there were no more exhibitions to be had, no more money to be made. I can't help myself, I just need to do it. I'd be running around sticking stuff on the walls. That reminds me, walls, on the subject of walls. Let's get there, shall we? Next week, we'll talk about something different. We'll talk about this wall. There's a plan. Blank wall. May have something to do with me. So, that'll be next week. Right then, so going back to, yes, never having earned the national average wage. Most years never even coming close, which is the situation for most artists. So if we want to get it back to advice for artists, here's one simple piece of advice I can give. Should you find yourself in the fortunate position where you become the thing of the moment, I would respectfully suggest that if you're not used to that level of attention on your work, and it does make a significant difference to your income, however briefly, do something sensible with the money. Make hay while the sun shines, but in a sensible fashion. That's my advice. Next week's episode. Sorted. So yeah, there's some advice for artists, and also some advice for people when you're communicating with artists. As I've said, I have all my friends in art world. I can count the ones that are extremely wealthy just because of their art on the thumbs of one hand. That'll do us for this one, won't it? Look after all those near and dear to you. Ta-ta for now.